I'm Sal.
I'm Beth.
We are the Brewery Lovers, here to tell you about our odyssey to many breweries in Vermont.
21.
21, not bad. Not all.
Not all. Not even close.
As Beth points out. What did you say earlier today about some of the best breweries in the country? Are all...
They're open for like 45 minutes on Thursday. That's just the way it is. So we're not going to get to every great brewery.
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
We missed a bunch on this trip. Places I really would have loved to go on. I wanted to meet people. It just wasn't going to happen based on when we were going to be traveling through and when they were open.
Yeah,
so.
It's just scheduling. But 21, not bad. And Stowe Bowl and McGrath.
Yep.
So,
but we didn't count those.
No, they're not breweries. But anyway.
Sometimes we get beer in places that aren't actually breweries.
We better get to it. We started in Bennington. And Bennington's a really cute, kind of has a small town feel. It's not. It's a pretty big town by Vermont standards.
Well, by the 2010 census, it was over 15,000 people.
Yeah.
So it's more than that, but it's not huge, but it's
really
adorable.
Cute little main street. Here's Madison. Madison is kind of an older brew pub. You can tell it was probably built in the 80s or 90s, and not much has changed, but the place was hopping. They have a really expansive food menu. And I have a feeling the food was probably okay because there was a lot of people in there eating. Here's the old Peter Austin brew system. That's how you know that this place has been around a while because they don't build them anymore. And the beers were good.
Since we're talking about beer, can I open one?
Wait a minute. Yes, please open beer. Wait. Let me show. What are we drinking?
We're drinking what we always drink. Because we gave away almost all the beer that we brought back. We
did bring beer back from Vermont, but we shared it with friends, coworkers, etc. So we're back to this stuff. Oh my God. Appropriate for this video, New England Juicy IPA, and one of the best. Ludlam Islands, Water Guns and Rainbows. I think it's safe. You opened it, right?
I did.
Okay. Beth got her Vermont brewery's passport, which she'll tell you about.
I love passports. I just think it's a fun way to kind of check off where you've been. And you check off enough, you get something. So Sal was wearing the t-shirt that comes when you get at least 20. I mean, there was another marker for 30 and 50. We didn't get there.
But why didn't you get a t-shirt?
Well, you needed t-shirts more than I did.
It's true, I did need t-shirts. So what did we have?
At Madison, we had their English Strong Ale, which was called Old 76, a New England IPA that was called F-Bomb.
It's cute.
A kettle sour called Mango Spark, and one called Juicy, Ju-C, that was a double IPA.
I really like that mango beer.
And I really like the double IPA.
It wasn't overly sour. I mean, I like sours, but I don't like them to be, salad dressing sour. It was appropriately tart and not insane. Some people like insane sour. Like if you ate Warheads when you were a kid, you probably want your beer to be insanely sour. But I'm not that guy.
We're not those people.
Yeah, but beers were solid and really nice place. And I have a feeling the food's really good based on what we saw there. Big crowd and everybody seemed to be eating.
Yep, and happy.
Everybody but us. Okay, Farm Road also in Bennington. This place, wow. Not only a really nice brewery. I mean, it was so clean. It's probably one of the cleanest breweries I've ever been to. We learned there's a reason for that. Looks like an old bank. I'm not sure, but that's what it looks like. And the beer was just also this shot. It looks like my lens is dirty. The place was full of smoke because they have a
pizza
wood-fired pizza kit in there. Here's the brewery. Just look at this place.
It's immaculate. You could eat off that floor.
You literally, I think you could eat off that floor. And the beers were absolutely superb. We really love this place. Okay, here's the reason it's so clean and tidy. It's owned by a Navy vet, Seth Barrows.
Yep.
We had the
and his wife.
We had an opportunity to meet the Barrows. Wow, here's Seth. The place was just, it was right down the middle. They did a beautiful job with the tasting room. Very comfortable. Beers were absolutely right down the middle. and just well done stuff. Really fun outdoor space. And there's a couple picnic tables back there, but it's definitely an old bank, because remember we saw the drive-through.
Right,
We were
right.
sitting
Yeah.
back there. But it's next to this really interesting little park, not part of the brewery. This is probably a city park with this really shallow fountain. It's so shallow that people were roller skating through it. But just a great brewery.
We tried almost everything they had. We did 2 flights: Bronson New England IPA, Keller Lager, Star Lord Double IPA, Golden Nugget Cold IPA, a Saison, which I can't read my handwriting, an orange wit called Full Moon, a cream ale called Baker's Head. We bought that.
Yeah, we bought some of
love
that.
And an oatmeal stout called
can-
Black Pearl.
You can tell we really love the brewery by the bill. When we were doing the receipts after the trip, I'm like, did we really spend this much money at Farm Road?
We really did.
We really did. Like, we don't usually get 2 flights. We usually have 1. They had like 11 beers on tap and 1 cider, which was not theirs.
No.
Guest cider. And we had 8 of them.
But there was such a variety.
Yeah.
Like, we thought, you're going to New England, everybody does have a New England IPA.
Naturally.
But there was a lot of variety.
Yeah. And as I said, all of them well done. Just really, we really couldn't say enough about this place. So put this on your list for sure. There's a 3rd brewery in Bennington, but as we mentioned, not open.
Wasn't open.
Yeah, not open the day we dedicated to Bennington. It's called Harvest. So, future trip. Okay, this was a trip. Right on the border of New York and Vermont is a little alpaca farm. I'm laughing because I'm remembering the alpaca farmer. She was absolutely hysterical.
She was fun.
Right on the border of Vermont and New York, there's a small alpaca farm called
Shaftsbury Alpacas.
It's in what, North Bennington? Something Bennington?
Yes.
One of the
Bennington.
One of the Benningtons. Oh my God. And this is where we stayed. It was a Harvest Host. But Sandy is the alpaca farmer. We'll talk about her in a sec. But this is actually not part of the farm. That's her next door neighbor's house. Half that house is in Vermont. The other half is in New York. And the owners have to pay taxes on both.
Both states.
Oh man, that is so bogus.
Yeah.
Can't they find a loophole or something? Anyway, that's how we're talking about the border there. You find this place by the Purple Alpaca Shack. And just a nice little... It's kind of like a little suburban home with a fair amount of land and enough for, I don't know, a couple dozen head
Some
of alpacas.
chickens, some guinea hens.
Yeah,
and
chickens.
a dozen alpacas.
Yeah. And here we are going to go say hello to the girls.
So Sandy makes hats and scarves and other stuff with the wool from these gorgeous soft animals.
Beautiful animals.
She wants you to get in there and pet them and know how soft and wonderful they are.
They really are very gentle, and they're
cute and friendly.
What's the word? They're wary. Their radar's always up, but I think they trusted us because we were in there with Sandy.
We were in there with Sandy.
But the reason you go to this place is Sandy. Beth described it when she wrote a review on Harvest Host. If Joan Rivers retired from comedy and started an alpaca farm. Sandy's from New York, seriously, New York, and so much fun.
So good at telling
I'm
stories.
a complete idiot because I didn't video the whole thing of her whole shtick.
We didn't know we were going to get an hour stand-up routine.
We just had no idea that it was going to be what it was, so definitely put this place on your list.
Look at me, I'm gorgeous.
Every now and again, you got to go, OG, this is Long Trail, one of the oldest microbreweries in Vermont. Very rainy, muddy day if we went there.
Yeah.
But just a really nice place. It really was. Very comfortable. Big tasting room.
Lots of outdoor space.
Yeah,
very kid-friendly.
Yep.
There was lots of families in there whose outdoor plans for the day had gotten canceled, I guess.
They had this cute little saying on the beer cobra.
It's on the Long Trail. of Vermont. So
a lot of outdoor theme
hiking
in the place. I love this painting. So it's like a mountain scene, but 4 different seasons and 4 different times of day. It's really clever. Here's the deck. It's just a beautiful spot. This beautiful creek runs behind it. Of course, with no one sitting on the patio that day.
It was raining.
And what struck me about this place was it was raining, so when we got there pretty early, but by the time we left, there was a line of people to get in, and we never felt rushed.
No.
Yeah,
it was very comfortable.
We actually ate. Mark your calendar. We had food at the brewery. And it was good.
And it was good.
Quesadillas. Our waiter was amazing.
Yeah.
He could not have been nicer and more accommodating.
We found that a lot in Vermont.
Yeah, true. Okay, this is not a brewery. We have a personal connection to this place, so we had to stop. And this is McGrath's Inn at Long Trail. It's literally right at the foot of the mountain where the Long Trail and the Appalachian Trail come together. A really classic old New England roadhouse. Look at this. The hand looks like it was hand sawn clappered on the outside. Knotty pine everywhere. Snowshoes, of course.
Yeah.
And just here's the sitting room. It's a bar, restaurant, and hotel. So they have like all these common spaces, for the
hikers to hang out in.
They definitely
after they shower
cater to hikers coming off, but either the Long Trail or the AT. Here's the safe. The safe story is amazing. I'll tell you as quickly as possible that it was the town of Killington was getting rid of this. This was the town safe. I don't know, it was like $100 or something. Or $1, I don't know.
It was some ridiculous.
And so the owner, one of the owners went down to grab it with his pickup truck, and the guy at the city hall was like, no. They ended up putting it so big and heavy, they ended up putting it in a front end loader, dumping it in the parking lot of the bar, and he said it took 8 hours to get
for the guys to just muscle it in.
Yeah, and it's not a far distance. Maybe 50 feet. So this is its permanent home. It will probably never move again. And they use it. That's the safe. But the thing is massive. Just old school, man. They don't make stuff like that anymore. But just a great old bar. There since 77. All this great stuff. Stickers and dollar bills and typical just junk all over the walls.
Perfect Irish pub.
Yeah, here's Murray. So here's the Murray story. This place is right on Pico, right? Pretty much.
Pico Mountain.
It's on the other side of the street, so it's in that neighborhood. It's in Killington, and we have a friend who has a house on Pico, and he found this place when he bought that house. Became fast friends with Murray, James, and Jamie, who we're talking about, and one day brought Murray down for the seashore experience, take him out on the fishing boat. Murray ended up sitting on our front porch drinking homebrew. And
that evening, fishing.
We had a great time. He owns a bar. He's a personable guy. He's got great stories. And the next day, James said, "What do you want to do tonight?" And he said, "I want to go back to Beth and Sal's and drink more of that beer. That beer was really good." Awesome compliment, because this guy knows beer. He owns a bar. And so we had to stop and see him. So this was the first time we'd seen him since that time. They are known throughout the state for pouring like the perfect Guinness. They've won all kinds of awards. In fact, there was one contest that they weren't allowed to enter because the distributor wanted somebody else to win. And I'll tell you what, he takes his time with every single Guinness. You can see here the knife thing, and then everybody gets a shamrock, which it's kind of unique to McGrath's. Nobody does it exactly like that. That's like a unique McGrath's design. That's their brand. But that was really fun. We actually went back. We went back on the return trip.
On the way south again.
I think because we ate. Did we get nachos?
We got something on the way down.
Yeah, the nachos. I think the nachos were like served on a manhole cover because they cater to hikers. When you're coming off the Appalachian Trail, all you want is calories. So they that was a generous supply of nachos. Here's Beth up on the trail. This trail goes right to the parking lot, and it was really nice. I mean, it wasn't easy. And we just went up to, they call it Deer Leap. It's where the Native Americans used to chase the deer off of a cliff, and that's how they harvested deer. But just a beautiful view up there. Anyway,
That was gorgeous.
yeah, not a brewery, but if you're in Killington, you got to go to McGrath's. What an awesome experience. All right, here's Fiddlehead. Fiddlehead's a little bit confusing because when you get there, you see this red barn. It looks like a pizza place.
It is a pizza place.
It is a pizza place. It's like, this is not a brewery. It's way too small. And Fiddlehead is huge. I mean, Fiddlehead you can buy almost anywhere on the East Coast. What the heck's going on here? Well, follow your nose. We knew there was brewing going on. As soon as you get out of the car, you can smell it. So we found the brewery, which is behind the pizza place. And obviously, this is a big capacity
Big operation.
brewery. Yeah, because they have a very, very large footprint. Beautiful brewery. It's a shame they don't give tours. Maybe they do. We don't know. But you can see a brewer at work here. Lots of fermentation space in this place because they have such a big.
Yeah, it's a huge capacity.
And here's the they were brewing that as we were there. You could see and smell the hop steam coming out of the chimney here. This is what you see when you pull up, which is just this cute little red barn. It's a pizza place on one side. They have this beautiful wood-fired pizza oven, and then the Fiddlehead tasting room on the left. Again, very Vermont-looking, knotty pine. I love these lights. They're made out of beer kegs, Sixtel beer kegs. And they only had, 6 or 7?
Yeah, there was not a lot to choose from.
Obviously, Fiddlehead IPA,
double IPA,
second
and
fiddle.
Mastermind.
But Mastermind, oh my! They had something else too.
It was a double IPA.
They had some Belgian thing or something that we didn't try.
No.
Something out of the ordinary. But I had never seen or heard of Fiddlehead Mastermind until that day. Yeah. Oh my God, that was one of the best beers we had of all the 21.
So what's your regret from this trip?
Yeah, my regret is I didn't buy a case or 2. Not that I had anywhere to put it. I could have put the beer in my bed and slept, in the driver's seat. I don't know. I would have figured it out.
That'd have been okay.
Really nice tasting room. The beer was also very inexpensive. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, that was a surprise in a lot of places in Vermont.
Yeah, a lot of places. Very affordable. This is Foley Brothers.
That's their home.
Foley Brothers, amazing. Off the beaten track. It's off the main road in Brandon, and you really have to. You really got to find it. We were wondering if we were going to get under all the tree limbs.
Yeah, if we were going to make it through with this rig.
And there's nowhere to park.
Yeah,
we didn't have a problem because we got there early on a weekday, but just a beautiful spot. I mean, look at this. This old barn, which is the tasting room. And the brewery behind it, that white building is the brewery. Very busy the day we were there. They were moving grain. I don't know if they were brewing or getting ready to brew. Here's a brewer cleaning. That's what brewers do.
Yeah, more cleaning than brewing.
We figure 80% of your time cleaning, 10% of your time brewing, 5% of your time drinking. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Since we both work in a brewery, we kind of know what's going on there. Really cool job with this. Really, really nice job with this old barn that they restored. But I don't know, maybe they were still in COVID mode. There was no seats in there. They didn't want us to hang around. So we actually sat out back.
But it was all covered. Even though it was raining, it was a comfortable place to sit. And
these skylights are just
a
gorgeous. And the old beams. And just a really nice spot. But the beer was just right down the middle. I mean, this place was outstanding. Lots of awards on the wall. You can see why. Do you have the...
what we drank?
Yeah, you did look for that, and I'll talk about it's also a winery. We did not have the wine. We're not wine people. But it's called Neshobe River because that's the region it's in, and it's actually right next to the Neshobe golf course, which you'll see in a sec. What do we have?
We had Foley Brothers Lager, a beer called Big Bang, which is unfiltered single IPA, an all Citra IPA, and an Imperial India Pale Ale called Pieces of Eight because it had 8 different kinds of hops.
Oh, nice. I'll tell you what, man. if you're anywhere and you see Foley Brothers, grab it. That was really something.
And in the cute little town of Brandon, there's another brewery that was not open that day
Red
that we were
Clover?
told we really should go to, Red Clover.
Yeah, more than one person
But-
said, go to Red Clover. No,
They weren't open that
not
day.
open. And
So we couldn't
actually,
get
we
there.
went to Brandon twice. Two different days. They weren't open either way.
No, they
so,
weren't.
sorry, guys. We tried. Beautiful little garden here behind the brewery. And here's the 5th hole of the Neshobe Golf Course. Raining pretty well that day, but there were still golfers out. I didn't catch any on video, but there were a few diehards. Beautiful spot, amazing beer. Yeah, no brainer. All right, sometimes you're in the presence of craft beer royalty. This was one of those days. Drop in Middlebury, Vermont is owned by Steve Parks. Here's the brewery. Very nondescript. Here's the walk-in box. Get it? We've seen this in other breweries. This is a common theme. We love this. Really nice tasting room. Lots of UK stuff on the walls. The gentleman who owns Drop In is Steve Parks. Steve Parks has been a pioneer, leader, expert, technical consultant, brewer in the craft beer business for a very, very long time, pretty much since the early days. Steve, he's not only a brewer with a brewery, but he also started the American Brewers Guild. The American Brewers Guild at the time became like only one of a handful of brewing schools in the country. There was way more demand than there was capacity for brewery students. What did you say about if you're studying for the test?
Oh, if you're studying for BJCP or for Cicerone and you need perfect examples, this is like a place you could go because everything they made, like you could have sat there with the BJCP guidebook and everything was right on mark.
Just totally by the book, but not, what's the word? But really good and interesting, not boring, Cause sometimes by the book can be boring. No, these beers were superb. I was actually really happy to have his ESB because he's English. He knows ESB. And we had just made an ESB, and I thought it was too hoppy. And then we had Steve's, and it was like, wow, our ESB tasted almost exactly like Steve's. So it's like, okay, I think my ESB was okay.
We felt validated.
Totally. Lots of English stuff around, English soccer, UK beers. Here's Monty Python's Flying Circus. Red Dwarf, I don't know if it's named for the star or the English TV comedy. I have a feeling it was probably the TV comedy because Steve is definitely into English comedy. But just a nice spot. Beer's right down the middle. This is a must-see if you're into craft beer. You got to go to Drop In because, just right down the middle.
We tried pretty much everything they had. The Red Dwarf was an amber ale. Heart of Lothian was a Scottish ale. A Good Honest Pint was the ESB that Sal just mentioned.
That was so good.
A cold IPA that I don't think had a name, just cold IPA. Mm-hmm. Dropinator, obviously a Doppelbock because it's got that ater at the end.
Which is nice because you don't see that too often in a craft brewery, and it's not that great, but this one was.
And
then there was
Doppelbock can just be so good. It's liquid bread, so.
He had a couple of he had a startup there. You just had that in front of you.
Yep.
Oh yeah, here it is.
Here it is.
So, tell them the names.
I think the startup's name is New Ireland.
Yep.
And they had 2 offerings there, both on nitro, so they were tasty right there. Mm-hmm. One was a stout, and the other was called Bright, which was a European-style lager.
Mm-hmm. They were both superb. Steve made them. I mean, Steve is the kind of the brewmaster for this new thing. We don't know exactly what it is, but the owners were there, and they said, "Hey, do you mind rating our beers?" I'm like, "Ooh, okay." That was nerve-wracking because they're like sitting there, like watching us. we're judging the beer.
And here's the owner of the American Brewers Guild.
But we were ready. We're beer judges. We know how to do that. So it was really kind of fun.
It was fun.
Yeah. And those guys were so nice. We had a really great chat with them, and the beers were good, very good.
Everything was perfect. We brought a lot of that beer home too. It's gone now.
Yep. That's the end of this video. What
This
else?
video, it's a fragment of
I gotta save
what we
myself some
covered,
cheers.
but
Anyway, yeah, more to come. 21, right?
total 21.
Okay, 21. So more breweries to come for the Vermont experience, and we appreciate you being here. And don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.
Cheers.
Look, I have that much left. I saved it.